Well, Keith, obviously disappointed to lose, but what did you make of the overall performance today?
We've created a good standard in and out of possession, and today we just fell off that standard, especially in possession. We have obviously studied Walsall, and we knew that we were going to press and counter-attack, and I think our middle third decision making in possession cost us the game today. If you look at the stats, 18 shots, 13 on target, I think that's the most traffic that our defence and Scotty in particular have faced. He made some great saves today, but we made a lot of mistakes, in possession mistakes, which made it very difficult for us to defend. So we've just got to remind the players it's a great learning curve and a good learning opportunity. I think it's time for the players to reset, but not overanalyse. But what we saw today from Walsall was potentially what we could expect a lot of teams to do, and I think they've delivered an excellent away performance result, but I think we've helped them.
How pleased were you with the way you responded to going a goal behind and sort of getting yourself back on level terms?
I think the game decider was the first 20 minutes of the second half. We made simple mistakes in possession where we should be retaining and attacking them. So we have players committed towards attack, getting set to attack, and on the turnover we got players out of position. And I think it's the most uncomfortable that we've looked at as a back four, because we didn't get the midfield transition, right today. So it allowed their inverted wide strikers, wingers, to rest in good positions when we had the ball, and we were poor in possession today. Well, not as good as I expected, which turned into counter-attacking opportunities. They came with a counter-attacking, game plan, 37% possession. That's all they had, but they had, the 18 shots at goal, 13 on target. So, an old manager once said to me, while we're playing all the football, they're scoring all the goals. So we have to be set to defend better. We have to be better to deal with the turnovers, and that was not very good today. Whereas in previous games that I've managed and previous games that I've watched, it's been excellent. Our turnovers, to response have been brilliant, which has allowed us to defend more precisely with less energy, more efficiency, and that's disappointing, but it's a timely reminder, and you learn, as you're winning games, but you probably learn more when you lose a game, and but it's not time to panic, it's no time to overanalyse, it's no time to self-doubt, but the players, they're responsible for performances.
First Tranmere goal for Liam Feeney, he's got the assist, but he's got a goal in him as well, and it was a good strike today. Good strike,
and I think we deserve to be going in, at least on a par, but again, you can dissect the game. It was good to see us respond to, conceding a goal. When we did, we got to half time, we went with a game plan, but within 10 minutes, is it a good goal? I think there's two opportunities where we can retain possession so that, Walsall don't get in that goal scoring position. But I do think today, Scott's had too much to do.
2,000 fans inside the ground today. I think they were doing their best to lift you in those difficult phases, weren't they?
Yeah, it's different. We've got to get used to the supporters being back in the stadium. They were brilliant in the support of the players. They were brilliant in trying to be the 12th man, because, there was a few contentious decisions which, I think that the fans can help you with, especially being at home with the referee. But they supported the team throughout the 90 minutes, and they will do. They're a good set of supporters, and it was different though. It was certainly different, and like I said, the players will get used to it. It's been strange not having the supporters in the stadium, but the players have got used to it. They've got to get used to the supporters being back and the demands that the home supporters put on you as a team, and they have to accept responsibility and they have to grow with it and tag along on the journey. But we're certainly really pleased for the supporters. I'm just personally upset that we couldn't deliver the perfect performance.
I think it was the 11th of February actually when the fans were last inside the ground here at Tranmere. It's a long, long time ago, as you say, but plenty to look forward to. I mean, the league table is still right up there. I mean, you've just had 6 games, won 5 and lost 1. It just so happens that the order they've come in, this has been the last one that you've lost, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's
the way it goes.
It's football. You can look at any stats, can't you? And if you're a politician, you can make them dance to your tune, and whether you're positive or negative. So I don't want to sit here and be a politician, I don't want to try and, do a magic trick on the supporters. We've lost the game today, whether we've won the previous 5, in the league, we've lost the game today, so it's how we respond. We have to deal with that defeat, and good people deal with defeat, and we plan on dealing with it. The transition from losing the game into the next game will be quite simple.
What you could see is how much the players that came on, the 4 subs, you wanted to try and change the game. So that's a really good sign, isn't it, when your subs come on and want to get on the ball and want to try and do something about it.
Yeah, the fear is at that time when you're making those substitutions that it could get worse, but you have to be brave in that decision. We were brave, and I thought we conceded. I thought we created goal-scoring opportunities, going into the last 20 minutes of the game, but you just don't want that game to get away from you and become, 4, 5, 6, because the scoreline relaxed the opponents even more, and they were playing happy football. They were expressing themselves, and it's difficult to defend in that. I'm trying to put myself into Peter Clark's shoes. Having been a centre half, it was a very difficult game today to be a central defender, having a lot of the ball. So you're not actually doing a lot of man marking against their number 9. Well, he did have a number 11 on his back. So I think Clarkey prefers being in that role where he's actually physically in a competition, and it was difficult for our central defenders today. But a learning curve, a learning opportunity. We can't have 67% possession and concede 18 opportunities. And it didn't happen against Oldham. Now, roles reversed today. So I want us to manage that game that we played today better, because they're allowing us to have possession. But fair play to Walsall, you've got to tip your hat to them.
EFL Cup game on Tuesday now, so obviously perhaps not for match fitness, but just how important now, that's the next game, isn't it? So how important is Tuesday night now before your long trip to Exeter?
It's a game, it's an opportunity. It's one that we want to win. We want to progress in the competition. So it is an opportunity, but is there any psychological sort of pressure on it? Certainly not for me. Pressure's staying at home for me, watching The Only Way is Essex. That's pressure. That's psychological pressure on me. That's going to send me around the bend. So what I'm actually doing at this moment in time, it's a real pleasure. So losing a football match, it gives me good problems.
And any little knocks after the game that you know so far, or is it all tactical substitutions?
James Vaughan's struggling a little bit, but we have to manage him. He's an influential player, an important player, and we've got to make sure that we look after him. And it's about 30 games, not one game with James Vaughan.
Thanks, Keith.
With the different dynamic of the fans being in the ground for the first time, did you sense any nerves in the players early doors?
It looked like it, but as a manager, you've got to ride with it a little bit. You can't be a manager who constantly keeps changing things, because the environment changes slightly, so we've got to allow the players to bed into the environment, but still show the same bravery. It can put a little bit of added pressure on, but I wouldn't use that as an excuse for losing the game today. I just think that we didn't manage the ball as clinically and as clean as we have been doing.
You spoke the other day about Tranmere defending well in open play, because they also had a lot of good chances from set pieces, but they were also able to get quite a few crosses into the box as well. Didn't seem to be able to stop that supply from being cut off.
I think because we give it away in the midfield third. If you give the ball away in the midfield third, playing the shape that we are, you're susceptible to the ball going to wide areas of the pitch. And if the full-backs can stay high up the pitch, they can double up on us in wide areas of the pitch. If you can't stop a cross, defend the cross. And I don't think we've been good enough today in every aspect of the game. And I wouldn't put that down to one individual or the setup that we've got. Football's a strange game.
Does that sort of explain why on a few occasions they seem to have a man over as well in those wide areas as well?
Out wide, the goal, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's going to change its position on the pitch. So we do know that if the opposition want to score, it's going to come into the centre of the pitch at some point. So if we can't stop the cross, you know, defend the cross, you're going to try and filter the ball wide so they can get set behind the ball to defend. We've got two good central defenders, Jay Spearing in front, a good goalkeeper. So I think we're set to defend crosses, you know, but we shouldn't be defending as many crosses as we have done today. And as a result of the amount of crosses that have come in, you can add it all up, all over the pitch. We give the ball away in the midfield third, and you know, it's easier for them to attack and get crosses in. So I think if we give it away in the offensive third, then it's less likely that more crosses are going to come in.